Well, obviously we have external ethics advisors. We take that very, very seriously. But yeah, no, I have a huge problem when Nancy Pelosi front runs every trade vis-a-vis her husband, 3 weeks before her legislation gets passed. Yeah, I have a real problem with that. I mean, Nancy Pelosi has made Warren Buffett, look like a lukewarm investor based on some of her trades, all based on inside information. I find it disgusting.
Eric Trump and Kaitlan Collins go back and forth on cryptocurrency, on corrupt politicians, on the integrity of Trump being the president and his family business, and so on and so on. And it is a very interesting exchange. I want to know what you guys think on this, and we're going to go through this in a moment. But just before we do, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to RTM News, because it ensures YouTube that you're enjoying these videos, and in turn, it will continually show up in your feed and they'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
Yeah, and when your father retook office this time, I mean, he was pretty skeptical of it the last time he was in office. I remember that. And this time he said he wanted to be the first crypto president. And to do that, he's installed a lot of pro-crypto aides inside the administration. He has a new crypto task force. They've loosened regulations. Some people want to know, how do you draw the line between what he does as president and what your family does as business?
Well, I think you know me well enough to know that I stay the hell out of Washington, D.C., and I always have. And listen, again, we found crypto because we were debanked. They tried to take everything away from us, and we found that industry because of that. But if you look at all around the world, right, everybody wants the U.S. dollar. Everybody, universally. No one in Asia wants any of their currencies. No one in Europe wants the euro. No one wants the pound. No one wants any of the South American or African currencies. Guess what they want? They all want the U.S. dollar. And so what's happening is you look at instability around the world, people are gravitating toward the American system, and I think that's a beautiful thing for our country. And Kaitlan, if you look at China, they were running toward cryptocurrency. If you look at the UAE, if you look at the entire Middle East, they were all sprinting toward cryptocurrency. My father's winning the race, and he's winning it for America, and I'm incredibly proud of that, because this just is the future of banking. It's a future of finance. Again, this is what is growing the fastest in the world. It's picking up tens and tens and tens of thousands of accounts every single day. And America needs to win the race in this, revolution.
I don't know much about cryptocurrency, but I do like that it seems like the government can't really interfere with what's going on there. They can't mess with your money, mess with your bag. And specifically in their situation, being in Trump's position when he was being attacked so heavily by the government when Biden was in office, I guess that makes sense why you would lean into something like that and then realize the benefits of it. So I don't think there's necessarily negative in involving having pro-crypto aides in your administration or helping out with that. But yeah, I mean, there's a valid question from Kaitlan though. It's like, how do you guys, are you guys people of integrity? Are you mixing up the information that Trump has as president and using it to your advantage as a business? That's a valid question. Eric just says I stay out of Washington. So we're going to play the next clip. There's more of this interview to listen to, so let's check it out.
Well, but you're praising him. And in your book, we know one thing I was thinking, I'm on here on Capitol Hill, and in your book, you criticize how members of Congress are allowed to buy and sell stock. You don't think that should be able to happen?
Yeah, because that's sketchy. You shouldn't be able to have all this information and that you're manipulating the system in your own favor if you have all this knowledge of what's going on and how to rig the system in your favor. Meanwhile, all the American people that some of them don't even make as much as you do salary-wise, are struggling based on inside information you have. That should not be allowed.
Obviously, that's a big criticism that we've heard from other people. But when it comes to you said you have nothing to do with what your father's administration is doing, that he doesn't have anything to do with this. But I think some people might want to know, how do you determine, whether something is a conflict of interest? Who really is doing that in this position for you?
Valid question, because you can say that all you want to, but there needs to be some sort of evidence and proof that you're not doing that. Because I mean, this is what people say with politicians, and I think Eric Trump's going to go into this later with a certain politician that you guys all know and love. You should not be allowed to be affiliated with anyone outside. Someone should not be able to benefit off of the relationship they have with you. So if you didn't technically do something, but a loved one, a spouse does something, how do they get this information? Oh, no. There needs to be things put in place to prevent you from rigging the system in your favor.
Well, we have external ethics advisors. We take that very, very seriously. But yeah, no, I have a huge problem when Nancy Pelosi front runs every trade vis-a-vis her husband, 3 weeks before her legislation gets passed. Yeah, I have a real problem with that. I mean, Nancy Pelosi has made Warren Buffett, look like a lukewarm investor based on some of her trades, all based on inside information. I find it disgusting. I have no inside information. I have nothing to do with Washington, D.C. I have nothing to do with any kind of legislation. But no, I find it wholly troublesome when U.S. senators and Congress people, before they vote on legislation, are putting in trades that double, triple, quadruple their money. I find a real problem with that.
Yeah, me too, Eric, because that's so sketchy, so sus. Should not be allowed. I don't think it is allowed, but like there needs to be more, what's the word, regulation, or there needs to be an eye on people that are involved in the government. They shouldn't be allowed. Your family and your spouse shouldn't be allowed, because that's to do something when you have access to information that is going to benefit you and not the American people financially. Like, no, not cool. So I have one more clip to show you from this interview, so let's get into it.
Your point that you're arguing that you think it's better. Obviously, your dad does have a big stake in the business, but I want you to hear something that Marjorie Taylor Greene had to say about this. She's a really big supporter of your father's, as you know. This is something that she said just recently.
Have regular people's bank accounts been affected? Has the stress come off? No, that has not happened yet, and that needs to be the major focus. It shouldn't be about helping your crypto donors or your AI donors or welcoming in these people that hated you and spent money to try to beat you, but all of a sudden are excited to come out to the new Rose Garden patio.
I don't see why Kaitlan Collins asked that question. This is a weird thing that's in politics. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been a big supporter of Donald Trump, and so she says something that may be contradictory to one of the many things Trump stands for or believes or whatever. And so she said that. What are your thoughts? It's like, they can disagree on that. I mean, I don't know if they do, but I'm just saying, like, that's not like, is that supposed to be like a gotcha moment? Oh, like this whole thing where you have to align with every single thing that some person you voted for or someone you support, like, believes, every ideological issue or every single like policy or every single like whatever, that should not be a thing, because we all have our own different perspectives and beliefs and desires and like that we want to see implemented in our country, in our own lives. And if you disagree on one thing, it shouldn't matter. But let's see how Eric responds to this.
What's your reaction to that?
I'm not really sure what that means. I mean, I think she's trying to describe lobbyists, and I think that probably the person that hates lobbyists the most in Washington, D.C. is my father. He never was supported by lobbyists.
Donors.
Lobbyists never gave my father any money. You know, I mean, listen, Kaitlan, in all fairness, you were there with us through it. My father, he self-funded his entire first campaign minus a little bit of money. You know, if there's one person who wasn't taking money from lobbyists, it was Donald Trump. It seems like everybody else in Washington, D.C. does, but the one person who's never needed lobbyists' money is Donald Trump.
Again, Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't have to align with every single thing Trump does. And so that's valid. Eric Trump is like, why? I don't know the point of you playing that video for me. Like, yes, he's a supporter, and I feel like they probably support each other. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything someone states or where they're prioritizing or what they're prioritizing. So anyways, I don't understand why people in the media do this. Like, let's just, I don't know, or maybe just frame the question differently. I don't know what the thing is, but I don't think anyone's ever trying to come to solutions. It's just a matter of trying to cause and stir the pot and be divisive. But anyways, I digress. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. Want to hear what you guys are thinking, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.